everybody, welcome back to Wedding Wednesdays. Excited to have you guys here. You may notice that we are in a different location today, and that is for two reasons. Reason number one is we are currently trading over our greenhouse to be a fall greenhouse. So if you want fall greenhouse mini sessions, please contact me quickly so that way we can get you scheduled. And right now we're a little booked up through October, so right now we'll be looking to November. So please message me if you want those. But yeah, beyond that, we are in here also today because I decided I wanted to add a section to my channel where I create cocktails. So if you know me, you know that I love being a wedding photographer. I love being a photographer in general. But if I wasn't a photographer, I would be a bartender. I love making drinks for friends and family, for different get-togethers and group events. So I wanted to walk you through today on a cocktail that I think would be amazing for a wedding. I've made this before for many of my Halloween parties, several fall parties, and it is always a hit. So I think you guys are really gonna like it. Today, we are making a salted caramel apple sangria. Oh my gosh, guys, I cannot wait for you to try this. This has always been such a huge hit at every party I ever have. I always make it for my fall parties, my Halloween parties, my fall get-togethers, everything, and it goes so fast. Like, it's delicious. It's got all the warm fall feels to it. Just a little bit of spice. It's so good. So these are the ingredients that you guys are going to need today. You are going to need caramel syrup, apple cider, a white wine. It doesn't really matter what kind of white wine you use. Any white wine is fine. I personally prefer a good Moscato or the Oliver Soft White. My grocery store was out of the Oliver Soft White today, so we are going with the Moscato. You're going to need a little glass. Sprite, I prefer diet because lower calories, and then some salt and some allspice if you have it. Clove is also good. Sometimes I like to mix the two together. It really doesn't make much difference. Clove just adds a little bit of extra spice, which is really nice. And then some apples. So let's get on to making this drink. So I went ahead and grabbed my measuring cup today because we're definitely going to need that. I'm going to use this recipe in terms of parts, which in this case, 1 part is going to equal 1 ounce. Or if I'm making it for a large group of people, which is what I normally do and which is what you're probably going to do for a wedding, right? You're going to make it for a huge group of people. I usually make it in this kind of container right here. One of these pitchers will usually serve 30 people, and don't worry, it will be guzzled up pretty quickly. But whether you're doing parts, 1 cup or 1 ounce can be the same thing. So that's why I'm going to go by parts today. So for this drink, I'm going to go ahead and start off with some good old apple cider. Delicious, right? So I'm going to measure out 5 parts, which in this case is going to be 5 ounces. If I were to make this for a large group of people in this container, I would go ahead and start off with 1 gallon of apple cider. And you're going to use that whole thing. And that will fill up a good portion of this container. But for lonely old me today, I'm just going to do 5 ounces. We're off to a good start, and now it's time to add the alcohol. So next, it's time for the caramel vodka. We're going to do 1 shot of caramel vodka, which normally, if you're making it for a giant wedding, you're going to use a full bottle for this pitcher. So 1 shot is always the same amount as 1 ounce, which is why doing the parts is really nice. So if you do 1 part, that always equals 1 shot. So 1 shot of caramel vodka. And next is time for wine. So we definitely want 2 shots of wine or 2 ounces. If you're doing this for the wedding though, you're gonna want 2 bottles per pitcher. Don't worry, if this sounds confusing, I will put the recipe for an individual glass and for a wedding down below. So you'll have both to look at and to reference and everything and to make a screenshot of, and that way you have it for later on. Okay, so that is all as far as the alcohol goes. Then there's just seasoning it up and making it taste nice. So I always like to add some salt, just a quick little dash of salt into it will be good enough. If you're doing it for a wedding, you're probably going to want to pour 1 ounce of it into your mix as a whole. It won't be super salty that way. It just adds a hint of that salted caramel flavor, which is so delicious. And next, it is time for our allspice, clove, nutmeg mix. I'm gonna go ahead and just pour some into the cap. I just want a hint of it to go on top. I think will be good. And we'll just kind of give that a stir. If you're gonna do it for your giant pitcher, you just kind of want to lightly coat the top of the whole thing, and then that'll be enough spices to evenly mix it through your drink. Okay, we're gonna give this a nice little stir, and I'm gonna go ahead and taste it. See how it goes. Oh, really good so far. Really, really good. Okay, now we're gonna fill this the rest of the way up with our diet Sprite. It's really gonna kind of make it last a little further, go a little longer, and give it that bubble, which is always really nice. Did you see that nice little fizz on the end? To finish our drink up, we are going to add caramel sauce, lots of it, and some nice cute little apples to garnish. I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of drizzle this around the whole glass several times. If I'm gonna do this for a wedding and for one of these giant pitchers, I'm gonna use pretty much half the caramel bottle. So a lot of caramel. And then we're gonna finish it off with an apple slice right here on the edge. Nice cute little garnish. Oh, perfect. Sometimes when I am doing this for parties, I like to just cut up apple slices into like fine cubes, and I put it on top, and it just kind of looks nice. It's not really for flavor or anything. If anything, it kind of changes the texture of the drink just a little bit, makes it a little fuller, but you don't need it to have a great drink. Okay, let's give this a nice little taste. Oh my gosh. Fall in a glass. I kid you not. It's so delicious. Your guests are gonna love this. You're gonna love this. It's perfect for if you're having a fall wedding. Imagine being like surrounded by your guests, being around the dance floor, and you're partying, and you're sipping on this magical fall in a glass kind of drink. Oh, you're gonna love it. Even better if you're having an outdoor fall wedding and you're by a fire and you're testing a quick little marshmallow and drinking one of these down before you continue socializing with your guests. Like, yes, absolutely. So I kind of like to finish off by kind of going over the recipe in full one more time. If you're making one glass or one cup, it doesn't matter. It's going to be 5 parts apple cider. So if you're making a glass, that will end up being 5 shots or 5 ounces of apple cider. And if you're making one of these pitchers, that's going to be a full gallon of apple cider. From there, you're going to use 2 parts of wine. So 2 shots, 2 bottles. Then from there, you're going to use 1 part of vodka. So in this case, 1 shot and 1 bottle. And then you're gonna finish off with your spices and your caramel. And so if you're using one of these pitchers, you're gonna use half a bottle of caramel. If you're going around the top of this, just kind of give it some good, nice long shakes. And then beyond that, coat the top of your cup or your pitcher with your allspice, and then give it a quick little shake of salt. Cheers! I hope you guys enjoyed this part of the Wedding Wednesday channel. I think I'm going to be making a lot more cocktails from here on out. It's not going to be every week, but maybe like once a season or something. Yeah, I've got tons of recipes to share, and I hope you enjoy it. Have a great day, like and subscribe. Bye people!